Hello, you are welcome to this special presentation of Rajya Sabha Television Question Hour from Parliament House Complex, where we bring you important unstarred questions asked by the members of the Rajya Sabha and the answers given by the government. I'm Kriti Mishra, and joining me is my colleague Vishal Daya.
Well, thank you, Kriti. And just like every day, we have questions from several ministries today as well. So let's begin with the first question, Kriti.
So let's begin with the Ministry of Home Affairs, and this question has been asked by member Ronald. And he asked, what is the experience of government in enforcing the National Register for Citizens in Assam, and whether there is any other proposal to conduct this exercise in any other state?
In its answer, the Home Ministry says that the NRC 1951 in Assam is being updated under the provisions of Citizenship Act 1955 and the Citizenship Registration of Citizens and Issue of National Identity Card Rules 2003. Now, the applications for preparation of NRC in Assam were invited in May to August 2015, and after necessary scrutiny and verification, the complete draft NRC has been published on 30th of July 2018. Now, the claims and objections on the draft NRC have been invited until 31st of December 2018. After the disposal of claims and objections, the NRC is to be finalized as per the timelines approved by the Honorable Supreme Court of India. The ministry also says that the exercise to update NRC 1951 is being conducted under the special provisions in respect of State of Assam under the Citizenship Rules 2003. At present, there is no proposal to extend the National Register of Citizens to states other than Assam. The next question is for the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, and this comes in from the member Sushil Kumar Gupta, who goes on to ask the government whether it has prepared any action plan for implementing the proposed new industrial policy for promoting manufacturing and economic growth in the country.
A new industrial policy is under the consideration by the government, and in the view of rapidly changing landscape of manufacturing and services, as well as in the light of new technologies and businesses models which are prevalent now, the need for a new industrial policy to address the existing challenges and take advantage of the future opportunities has been felt. The proposed policy would be a roadmap for all business enterprises in the country. The next question has been asked by member Tiruchi Siva, and this one is to the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. And he has asked about the initiatives taken by the government to improve menstrual health of women in the country.
Well, the Health and Family Welfare Ministry in its answer says that to address the needs of menstrual hygiene among adolescent girls, the Government of India is supporting the menstrual hygiene scheme, under which funds are provided to states and union territories through National Health Mission for decentralized procurement of sanitary napkins and packs for provision primarily to rural adolescent girls at subsidized rates as per proposals received from states and union territories in their program implementation plans. Awareness generation about menstrual hygiene is also a very important part of this scheme. Besides this, the Ministry of Women and Child Development is running a scheme for adolescent girls, for 11 to 12-year-old girls out of school, to impart information on personal hygiene and management of menstruation. Under menstruation hygiene scheme, sanitary napkins are provided at a subsidized rate of ₹6 for a pack of 6 napkins for adolescent girls living primarily in the rural areas of the country. During financial year 2018-19, 40 crore rupees have been allocated for this particular scheme. Just a short while back, my colleague Kriti Mishra spoke to the member Tiruchi Siva on the answer given by the government to his question. Let's listen in.
Member of the Rajya Sabha, Mr. Tiruchi Siva, is joining us on Question Hour. Welcome to Rajya Sabha TV, sir. You've asked a very important question on the menstrual health of women and also the steps taken by the government. The government has given a comprehensive reply. What is your take on government's response?
See, my question was to know about the initiatives taken by the Government of India for the menstrual hygiene scheme for the girls, and also the fund allocated and what are the schemes in place. If it is an oral question, I would have asked how the Women and Child Development Ministry would impart information to them when they are out of school. It specifically mentions about girls who are out of school. So if they are in school, they can go and give them some awareness program, but whereas when they are outside, If so, how it is being done, how many have been done, under what basis? These are the other questions that arise by way of the reply I have received.
So what are the steps that can be taken to improve the menstrual health of women in the country?
As what I know, in Tamil Nadu, as far as we are concerned, we have some vending machines at schools. And especially, of course, awareness programs should be conducted at school levels also. And girls, of course, they are aware. But it was shocking for me to know that even in colleges, that many girls absent themselves at college level, even, not even school, because they are not able to purchase sanitary napkins. And some news also came recently that in Bihar or somewhere in a part of the country, women used some cement bags, and because of that some developed some disease and they died even. That's the reason which initiated me to raise on the floor of the House that GST on sanitary napkins should be waived. Of course, I should thank the government, it responded. And now the sanitary napkins are exempted from GST. So if they are given, the girls, if they are able to purchase it, because not all women are able to afford it. You know, even they say the income of a rural person who are considered to be under BPL is 32 rupees and the urban is 47. And within that, when they have to run the family, I think they cannot afford. So they resort to some other older methods, which is very unhygienic. So I think the government should give priority. First, they should sensitize them, the importance of keeping themselves hygiene. And next, the government should provide sanitary napkins to them. And also the consequences that may arise, how to curtail them. These are the steps the government could take.
Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts on that important issue and making those crucial points.
Thank you.
Well, that was Tiruchi Siva on the government's response to his question. Let's now move on to the next question, which is from member Saroj Pandey and is addressed to the Ministry of Steel. Now, the member asked the government whether it is a fact that steel plants of SAIL, which comes under the ministry, are being expanded to increase their production capacity.
The government has given a very specific answer here, and the government goes on to say that Steel Authority of India Limited undertook modernization and expansion of its 5 integrated steel plants at Bhilai, Bokaro, Rourkela, Durgapur and Burnpur, and special steel plant at Salem to enhance its crude steel capacity from 12.8 million ton per annum to 21.4 million ton per annum. The modernization and expansion at Rourkela, Burnpur, Durgapur, Bokaro and Salem steel plants has been completed. Further, at Bhilai steel plant, all major facilities like new coke oven battery number 12, second sinter machine in sinter plant 3, new blast furnace number 8, new steel melting shop 3, universal rail mill and rail welding lines, bar and rod mill have been completed. The next question has been asked by member Wansuk Siem, and she has asked the Minister of Petroleum and Natural Gas whether India has weighed the likely impact on global oil market, with Qatar breaking away from the cartel of 15 countries that produce about 45% of world's oil and sitting over 80% of its proven oil reserves.
Well, the Petroleum Ministry in its answer specifically says that keeping in view India's energy security, Indian public and private companies secure crude oil and LNG from diverse sources from Australia to America, including Qatar. Now, Qatar's breaking away from OPEC is not expected to impact our good oil and gas trade relations with that country. Well, the next question is from member Hussain Dalwai, and it is for the Ministry of Labour and Employment. He asked the government about the details of the scheme framed for reimbursing employers the salary for 7 out of 26 weeks of maternity leave for women earning more than 15,000 rupees per month.
That's a very important answer for the women folk there, and the government is working on an incentive scheme where 7 weeks' wages shall be reimbursed to employers who employ women workers and provide the maternity benefit of 26 weeks paid leave as provided for in the Maternity Benefit Amendment Act 2017. To enable an entity to avail of the incentive, the women employees working in their entity should be a wage earner of less than 15,000 rupees per month and a member of Employees Provident Fund organization for at least 1 year and not covered by Employees State Insurance Corporation. A meeting of stakeholders consultation with the representatives of concerned central ministries, state governments, employers and employees associations was held on 14th of November 2018 to discuss the matter. The scheme was supported by and large with the majority of stakeholders. The scheme is proposed to be administered after obtaining the approval of the competent authorities. The incentive is proposed to be funded from the budgetary allocations. Government has not made any allocation for the scheme during the current financial year. Moving on to the last question, and this one has been asked by member Kanta Kardam, and this one is to the Ministry of Civil Aviation. And the member has asked whether India is the most rapidly growing aviation market in the world and whether there has been considerable increase in air traffic and domestic air passengers during last 3 years.
Well, the Ministry of Civil Aviation has given a detailed answer to this question, and it says that according to International Air Transport Association IATA report for 2017, Indian domestic passenger market in terms of revenue passenger kilometers has posted the fastest full-year growth for the third year in a row, followed by China. With the repeal of the Air Corporation Act in March 1994, the Indian domestic aviation was deregulated. Airlines are free to induct capacity under any aircraft type, free to select whatever markets and network they wish to service and operate. In this regard, the government has laid down route dispersal guidelines with a view to achieve air transport services, taking into account the need for air transport service of different regions of the country. It is, however, up to the airlines to provide air services to specific places depending upon the traffic demand and commercial viability. As such, the airlines are free to operate anywhere in the country subject to compliance of route dispersal guidelines issued by the government. The ministry further says that Indian carriers can operate from any points in India to any foreign destination in other countries as per agreed bilateral traffic rights. However, commencing of operations on any specific route depends on the commercial judgment, route viability, availability of aircrafts and other resources of airlines.
So these were the important questions and answers in this edition of Question Hour.
On the other side of the break, our colleagues Akhilesh Suman and Arvind Singh will bring you some more questions and their answers in Prashn Kaal. Keep watching.